Hello, and welcome to Unreal Engine 5, the Complete Beginner's Course. My name is David, and I will be your instructor for this course. The first thing I want to do is explain my inspiration for creating this course, which will then help to explain sort of my philosophy for how I structured it. So when I first began my journey to learning the Unreal Engine, I was pleased to find that there was a wealth of information available. However, after looking around for a while, I noticed I kept running into the same two problems. The first was that the information I was finding was completely unstructured. So I could find information about lots of various topics, but each article would talk about other concepts and topics that I hadn't learned about yet, which made it difficult to understand that topic. So it was hard to find a good place to start, and even if I found one, I never knew where to go next. The second problem was that none of the articles or videos I was finding were going into extensive detail about the topics they were covering. So I would find lots of the same basic information over and over again about a specific topic, but then be completely unable to find information about the more advanced details of that topic. So bottom line, I noticed there was a lot of important information that was missing from the other guides and courses out there. So these roadblocks that I encountered during my learning experience is what inspired me to create this course the way that I did, in the hopes that it will result in a better learning experience for others. So when I crafted this course, I invested a lot of effort into creating a solid structure for it, meaning what topics are covered and in what order. So the course is laid out very carefully, so that you can go into it knowing absolutely nothing, and then little by little, each lecture builds upon the previous lectures, so that every time you learn something new, you already have all the knowledge you need to learn that new thing without any confusion. And then secondly, after carefully choosing which topics should be covered in a beginner's course and which shouldn't, I made sure to cover those basic topics in detail. So at the end of this course, you should have a thorough understanding of all the basics of Unreal Engine and be fully prepared to move on to more intermediate topics. Okay, but there can be a downside to this approach. For some people, they're not really that interested in learning about all the nooks and crannies. It basically depends on what your goals are for learning Unreal Engine. This course was designed for those who want to learn as much about it as possible. If you're just looking to have a bit of fun and to tinker around a little bit, then this might not be the right course for you. But if you're interested in getting really good, possibly becoming an indie developer or even working for a major studio, then I strongly believe that this is the course for you. This course will teach you the knowledge that normally falls through the cracks. Alright, so like I said, it is my hope that I have developed the best learning experience possible for you. What I would really like, what my ultimate goal would be, is for everyone who takes it to consider this a 5-star course. So I have striven to make this a reality, but if, for some reason, you don't feel like I've done that, please send me a message to let me know what I can do to earn a 5-star rating from you, and I will do everything I can to improve the course to meet that standard. Alright, so in this course, you will be learning how to use what many consider to be the best game engine in the industry, the Unreal Engine. For the remainder of this video, I will first give a quick history of the engine, then I will go over what will be covered in this course, and then I will show you the demo game that we will be creating in the tutorial videos for this course. So, starting with the history of the engine. In 1998, the game development studio Epic Games released a first-person shooter called Unreal. The game was a hit, and it spawned other successful sequels such as Unreal Tournament. The same year the game was released, Epic Games decided to start licensing the engine it had built to create it, which is simply called the Unreal Engine. So other game development studios, instead of having to write their own game engines from scratch, could instead pay a fee to use this game engine that Epic Games had already built. So this turned out to be a great business model for Epic Games, and they continued to invest heavily in developing their game engine. So since 1998, newer versions of the engine have come out, and we are now on Unreal Engine 5, which was released in 2021. So the Unreal Engine has been used to create countless numbers of blockbuster games and game series, including Fortnite, BioShock, Gears of War, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, Borderlands, Dishonored, Mass Effect, the Batman Arkham series, and many, many more. The biggest disadvantage of the Unreal Engine was that for a long time it was too expensive for anyone but large companies and wealthy individuals. However, in 2015, Epic Games changed their licensing for the Unreal Engine to make it completely free to download and use. The only catch was that developers had to pay a 5% royalty on all sales over $3,000. In 2020, Epic Games raised this amount to $1 million. So as of today, if a developer makes over $1 million on a project created with the Unreal Engine, they must pay Epic Games a 5% royalty on any money earned beyond that first million. Alright, so now that we've gone over the history of the engine, let me give you a brief outline of the course. The course is divided into 9 sections. The first section, Getting Started, will help you get the engine installed and will introduce you to some basic concepts. The second section will teach you about the level editor, which is used to create the environments for your games. The third section, Actors, will teach you about the various types of entities available in Unreal to help you craft your environments in your games. The fourth section, Blueprints, will cover Unreal's blueprint system, which is a way to script logic for your game without having to know code. In essence, blueprints are a way for you to tell the engine how your game should function and what its rules are. The fifth section will cover how to create playable characters for your game and how to set up input for them. The sixth section will cover collisions, including how the engine detects collisions and how to take damage from objects when colliding with them. The seventh section will cover user interfaces and show you how to create menus and HUDs for your game. The eighth section will cover audio, showing you how to add music and sound effects to your game. And then the final section will be used to cover any additional topics that don't fit into one of the previous categories. So by the end of this course, you should have a solid understanding of how the Unreal Engine works and how to develop games for it. Alright, and now something I just want to mention real quick, in order for you to get the most out of this course, is that regardless of what platform you are watching this on, most video players have a setting where you can adjust the playback speed. So if you find that I'm going too slow for you, that can get really annoying. So in that case, I highly encourage you to turn up the playback speed until it's at a speed that's right for you. Conversely, if you're having difficulty keeping up at any point, you can turn the playback speed lower. So again, I highly recommend you take advantage of this feature so that the videos play at a pace that is just right for you. Alright, so now let's take a look at the demo game. So the game has a first-person character that can do things like walk, look around, and jump. So you will learn how to create these movements and how to map the input to both the keyboard and mouse and the gamepad. You will learn how to place and position objects, such as these blocks here, in order to create the environments that the player will play in. You will learn about things like collisions, damage, and HUDs, and how to combine that knowledge so that when the player collides with something harmful, you can visually see the player losing health. You will also learn how to handle player deaths, and how to create menus such as this Game Over menu. You will learn how to set up an item collection system, so that when the player runs into collectible items in the game, like this orb, it will disappear from the environment and be added to their inventory. You will learn how to create custom objects, such as these platforms here, and how to give them a simple animation. You will learn how to add audio to the game, such as this background music. You will learn how to create enemies that move around, such as these fire spheres. Okay, so if I reach the door at the end of the level, I will get a message informing me that I must collect all 3 orbs in order to open the door. So let me look for the final orb. Okay, and now that I have the final orb, I can come back to this door, and now I'll be able to open it, walk through, and win the game. Alright, so by the end of the course, not only will you have made this game from scratch, but you will know exactly why you did everything, so that you will then be able to apply the knowledge to your own custom games. Alright, so again, welcome to the course, and I hope you find it fun and educational.